Monday morning, time for us to check out what's happening in the world of tech. Now, we know that the 2019 United Kingdom general election, it was held this past Thursday, was without a doubt perhaps more talked about thanks to the subject of Brexit, which has been ongoing. But listen to this. The BBC last week achieved a major feat in news by covering the event in every major constituency, not with human journalists, as we might have all come to expect, but with computers. Can you cope with that? Is this the future of journalism, maybe? Here to help us unpack this amazing event is our resident tech expert, Bryan Smith. Good morning,
Thanks,
Bryan.
great to be back.
Bryan, obviously we're going to start off with the first question that everyone is asking. Why did the BBC choose to replace human journalists with computers, and are there any benefits of doing that?
Absolutely. So this has actually been one of the largest tech experiments that the BBC's ever done in the field of reporting. And one of the primary reasons that they chose to do this is that obviously given the massive sort of nature of this event, it's incredibly difficult to capture the sort of granular details, the election results as they come in real time with human journalists without an error for margin. So what they actually did is they trained up 700 machine learning specialists, so computers themselves, to produce around 700 articles. Most of them were in English, however, about 40 of them were in Welsh. So the real incentive was to be able to produce news as quickly and accurately as possible. And the real benefit in doing so is not only having sort of that direct ease of publishing and reporting that much more quickly, but also in the essence that you can connect to live data streams, so election results as they are tallied directly to these computers, so you can get the most accurate results reported time after time.
This gets me both excited and anxious because, first of all, how are we having computers do all of this work for us? My next question, I suppose, is then, how do they even write the stories? Who checks the stories? Are they even checked at all? How do we know they're not just doing their own thing? So especially when it's so detailed and technical.
Absolutely. So the process here was actually pretty fascinating in that obviously in an election, if you're preparing coverage, there are any number of ways things might go. So the way in which the BBC worked this angle was that they had human writers produce a number of different sentences or phrases to keep with the BBC messaging tone and style, and then computers were able to select based on results those sentences and phrases to assemble an article together. Now, the concern for us, obviously, given fake news and inaccurate reporting, is that things might have been wrong or the tone might have been mismatched. So each of these articles was actually checked by a human editor before being published. So humans were still involved in the process, although it was largely led by computers.
That is just intense. What I want to know now is, could the machines influence the future of news reporting?
So here's the scary thing, they already have.
Don't scare me any more than you already have.
Excuse me, like, are we going to lose our jobs over
is that what you're
machines? Like,
saying
what's going on?
No. Well, I don't think there's any real risk of that, but if you consider, if you've ever read a fake news article, for example, there's a very high chance that's been generated by a computer. And mostly, some especially American news organizations are really testing out computer-generated news, especially for short format news, maybe perhaps tweets or news bites. However, longer form journalistic pieces or investigative journalism is always perhaps best left to human beings who are able to analyze and critique data. So it's definitely going to be in the future a process where computers will be married with human beings to produce more authentic and real news as it comes out.
Well, if you think about it, think of the number of times you've read a fake news article on the internet. You can't tell that it's been written by a computer because they sound so believable. But this is such a giant leap for BBC. Here's the question. Maybe humans are the actual endangered species in the world. Okay, maybe human journalists, not all humans. But thanks again, Bryan. You're absolutely amazing. Put it right here.
Thank you, Bryan.
Be sure to keep up with the latest tech news on bandwidthblog.com.